actually, if you want to, Edgeford, if you want to go ahead with your captain's log.
I have the captain's log. Okay. Captain's log. Stardate 78719.2. It has been a little over a month since our shakedown cruise passed without incident. During that time, this ship and her crew have carried out the missions assigned to us without error. In particular, the diplomatic and stellar exploration work of this crew are to be commended, and these vital parts of Starfleet's work should not go unmarked. The situation beyond our borders only increases in tension and severity. Legate Lorak, an estranged son of Gul Dukat, has seized control of the Cardassian Unity government and issued an ultimatum to the Romulan Republic. He has threatened to declare war if the Romulans join the infamous allegiance, as they are reported to be considering. I can only hope the Legate's apparent plan succeeds and that war is prevented, whilst the infamous allegiance is denied a further member. But I would be naive to believe things will work out so neatly. The infamous allegiance showed their colours only recently when the Breen bombed one of their own colony worlds to prevent its leaving the allegiance. This will likely not end well. End log. Computer, commence classified log. Stardate 78719.2. I have received an unusual directive from Starfleet. I and a selection of my security officers are to take a shuttle into the Barson Rift in an effort to stealthily approach a Romulan listening post and gather intelligence. Whilst I have reservations about the wisdom of interfering in this tense political situation, ordering a captain off of his ship, sending him and his senior security crew into an area where they can be ambushed unnoticed, and believing that Romulan security can be so casually breached at a point of such significance, my orders are still unambiguous and will be carried out. If the mission fails, we will be disowned, and all knowledge of our actions denied. To that effect, there must be no record of these events beyond this, lest the ship be captured. I have briefed the senior staff in person, and trust they are taking the appropriate steps as ordered. Still, there is something rotten in the wind. End classified log.
So if you guys are looking at the map, you'll be able to kind of look to the northeast of where Earth is at the center and see the Barson Rift, which is where Shinzon aboard the Romulan Scimitar ship attacked USS Enterprise E roughly 20 years ago. Unlike the map shown there, the Barson Rift actually spans both the Federation side and the Romulan side. So the location that you are going to be going into would be considered kind of the neutral zone area. Being as they have their own listening outpost there, and if I remember correctly, which I should have looked up but didn't have time to, I believe the Romulan neutral zone was actually disbanded, although regardless if it's disbanded or not, doesn't really matter, as they have their things there and you need to go in as well, so just consider it non-existent at this point. So the USS Legion arrives just outside the Barson Rift. The shuttlecraft Archon will be departing, and that's actually where we're going to be starting. With the shuttlecraft departing the Legion. At the back of the shuttle, let me move you guys to that. At the back of the shuttle is the two cadets, Cadet Merck, who has been ordered to come on this mission, as well as Cadet Hampton. At the front is Captain Osprey and his Chief of Security, Lieutenant Zhukov. Would anybody who is not currently on the shuttle, so that would be Mac, Rob, or Master Kriebel, or Tali, would anybody like to control Cadet Hampton for the sake of this mission? If not, that's fine.
Sure.
Who's that?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Sorry, I don't know everyone by voice yet. Who's I?
Oh, Tolly.
Okay, cool. So Cadet Ham, I'll go ahead and quickly, since you're not on roll 20, I'll go ahead and give you an. So someone else is gonna have to roll probably because.
I'll do it. I'll roll.
Let me just make. Well, you've got a character already, but the character sheet's set up. So Cadet Hampton, Cadet Amy Hampton is human from Earth, security cadet. Cadet 4th grade, meaning she's in her final year. Her focuses are hand phaser, surveillance, and persuasion. She doesn't have any talents or values or anything like that. And as you can see, her attributes and disciplines are there. I'm not going to list them all out. But if Tolly, if you want to role play as her, you can, but someone will need to roll those when it comes time. Do I have a volunteer to roll for the shuttle when assists are needed?
I'll roll for the shuttle.
If at all possible, somebody who's not already on the shuttle. But if nobody wants to, that's fine. It could be.
I can roll the shuttle.
And that's
Alright.
Rob, I think.
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm just adding some things, namely things to the shuttle. Let's see. Communications. Okay. Con is 4. All right. There we go. So if you look in the ships folder, it's the second one down, SC4 type shuttlecraft. It's the same shuttlecraft used by
I got it.
Janeway in the end game on Voyager. All right, so Cadet Hampton is sitting there. Now, Cadet Hampton, or Tali, I should say, Cadet Hampton has been, once she was ordered by the chief of security, Lieutenant Zhukov, that she would be on this mission. One of the deputy security chiefs, Lieutenant Mackel, pulled her aside and basically, told her to watch Lieutenant Zhukov and Captain Osprey, and to basically just make sure that if anything goes wrong, to report back to him. How would you like Cadet Hampton to play that? Do you want her to just say yes, sir, and go along with the mission and keep her eyes open, or do you want her to report that to the captain or Lieutenant Zhukov? How do you want to do that?
Directly to Zhukov, because I'm in close confinement with them.
Okay. Lieutenant Zhukov, you have finished your running your diagnostic of the ship's weapons and other non-flight related systems. And as you look at a chronometer, you realize it's about time for you to check on your 2 cadets in the back. There is a wall. There is a wall there between you guys. I know you can't see it looking at it, but it's because it's just cut open. So there's a door that you can just go through, and as they're sitting on invisible, apparently, benches back there. So yeah, I'll let you take it away, Lieutenant Zhukov.
Here. Systems are clear. The ship's status is functional.
So do you go back to check on your cadets or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be checking on the cadets at the back. I will return if as soon as possible.
Very well.
All right. As you go back, the door is open, and you find Cadet Merck and Cadet Hampton sitting there. Is Cadet Merck and Cadet Hampton, are you guys having a conversation, or are you just sitting there quietly?
I mean,
I'd be okay with a conversation, although I don't know what the topic is at the moment.
It's up to y'all.
I would be talking to him about like how my orders or what my orders were, and then I guess somebody's going to be coming in at that last moment.
And that's Zhukov himself.
Okay.
And then
I was ordered to keep close eye on these people to make sure that they don't go out of the bounds.
Go out, go out of the balance, cadet.
Can you repeat that, Lieutenant Zhukov?
Alright. You mentioned about orders of keeping an eye on us?
Yes, Lieutenant. I'm sorry. I was actually on my way to go see you and explain the situation. I don't like it any other way like this, but I figured I would tell you personally because I feel a close cohesion is paramount to a successful mission.
Pick up, cadet. Are there any further details about these orders?
I will just explain it. They asked me to make sure that everything goes to plan and to keep an eye out on you two.
I see. I believe I will have to relay this to the captain himself, as he has been supposedly been included into these orders that you were provided.
Here's my data pad. Everything is on it.
Is appreciated, cadet.
You're welcome.
We will be arriving to our destination soon. Make sure you are all prepared for when we arrive. Understood?
Understood.
I go back to the captain.
Okay.
Captain, is it possible if you could have a look at this data pad?
Of course, Lieutenant. What appears to be the issue?
It seems that one of my cadets have been ordered to keep an eye out on us. However, it seems that I don't remember her name.
Hampton.
Cadet Hampton has provided me a data pad of details of these orders as I hand over the data pad over to the captain.
Osprey will go through the relevant order. He's looking chiefly for the specifics. Time order was given by who.
Yep. As far as you could tell, it's basically because the order was given in person, you basically just have the account or the report of the cadet. You got the time that it supposedly happened. You could easily, once you get back to the ship, you could easily look at the records and look at the, CCTV or whatever you want to call it to figure out exactly what happened. But according to the Cadet Hampton, basically, yeah, people are dropping like flies. Apparently, it was Lieutenant Mackle, one of the deputy security chiefs. One of the deputies working directly under, basically it was the guy from the first episode who was following Nostra's character around, making sure that Zhukov did what the Admiral Lane wanted him to do, essentially. The half-Deltan.
What's going on in Osprey's mind, but he will not voice any of this, is one, there's wheels within wheels here. Two, Osprey wants to tell Hampton, hey, don't tell Mackle you told us. Mackle was probably assuming that Hampton wouldn't tell us. But he also thinks Hampton was given an order to sort of keep an eye on people, which has in it an assumption of subtlety. And immediately told the people he was surveilling. So keeping their mouth shut is not something that Osprey is currently thinking Hampton's going to be good at. So he's not going to tell Hampton, like, hey, don't tell
Right.
Mackle, because he'll immediately, hey,
Hey,
Mackle, Osprey told me not to tell you. So,
Hey, I'll be right back. I need to do something real quick.
All right.
So Osprey's just keeping his mouth shut on that. He has a great many concerning internal thoughts, but they will not be voiced in this venue where these people may overhear. You might have a word with Zhukov later.
All right.
One thing he will do before we all go, we're already in transit, is he will say, as we're approaching, or as we're on way, cadets, it may be necessary to approach our target from the outside, particularly if it is... actually, out of character question before I go into this. Do we know if this is an unmanned monitoring station or if it's manned?
As the last thing that Starfleet Security and Starfleet Intelligence knew was that it was usually unmanned. However, there could be up to half a dozen Romulans or Remans aboard.
Right, okay, we want to avoid going inside. In that case, he'll say to the group, cadets, and this is also addressed at Zhukov, as we approach, please make sure that your hard suits are put on correctly, and also please ensure that your line communication is appropriately affixed to various people in this team. It may be that we need to go for a spacewalk, and it may be that we need to communicate in a manner that will be not detected by sensors or signals, and therefore a broadcast would be unwise, hence communication by line.
Back, what I miss?
Out of character, what I just told the cadets and also you is that when we're approaching the station, we'll assess the scenario as we get there, but we might end up hard suit, spacewalk, deal with it from the outside, and for communication, rather than doing it's subspace style communication, which could be detected. It's hardline. So actually have lines linking the suits.
Requesting permission to have a suggestion, Captain.
Of course, Lieutenant.
But in case we are to make sure to not be detected by sensors, would it be possible that we can instead try to keep verbal contact to a minimum? Instead, try and find a way to communicate through gestures.
Indeed, communication of all sorts should be kept to a minimum. You're quite correct, particularly once we draw close. We must also ensure that we at no point stray between the monitoring station and the spatial anomaly that it is directed toward.
Your sensors light up as a cloaked mine decloaks and destroys 3 points of your shields. The ship is sent careening to starboard. I need whoever's the command con officer at the moment to make a daring and con roll to keep yourself from rolling too far off course.
So control con or
daring and con. The difficulty is going to be 4. The complication range is going to be 5 because there are other mines in the area.
Oh shit. Who's good with daring and con?
Those are 2 of my worst abilities.
I mean, daring is one of my worst attributes, but con is one of the better attributes aside from security.
Well, I'm daring 8, con 1, so not me.
Daring 8, con 4.
Alright. What do our cadets sheets look like?
Yeah, we might need assistance.
It's probably not.
If at all possible, can you put the character sheet in the chat, please?
Hold on.
Is this for Hampton?
Hampton. Cadet Hampton's daring is 10, con 1.
Okay, so that's second
Looking
best.
at Cadet Merc. I'm looking for Cadet Merc. Are you Merc? Okay, there you are.
Ooh, Merc's probably our best
daring
bet.
9, con 4.
Yep. And
Sorry,
any
I'm still.
So okay.
I'm still driving. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
you guys, yeah.
Sorry.
So I think you guys definitely. It's my fault because I definitely should have clarified. The pilots are the two people at the front of the ship, which is the captain and the security chief. So it's between you two.
Right. So one of us with the best attributes rolls, and you do an assist, correct?
Yeah, I'll do an assist. Probably
Got it.
a combination of what control command I'm thinking for trying to plot out the mines as best we can without an
Yeah.
active scan, and relaying their location to you, which will also set off my advisor talent, which will grant you a reroll.
Yep. Thank God I got fucking tough.
And whoever's rolling the
They're in
ship.
common, correct?
Yep. Whoever's rolling
And it
the
was
ship.
complication range.
Got it.
Complication range 5.
4. Oh
Nope,
shit.
difficulty is 4. And whoever's rolling the ship can roll engines and con. Or I'll
Alright,
allow
rolling.
sensors, but they're both the same. They're both 10. So
Rolling.
Oh,
Oh shit.
I was about to say consume threat, but oh well. Okay, all right. You get a reroll of that complication because you get to
All right.
reroll a d20 with the advisor talent.
Alright, oh thank God, thank you.
nice. All right. So 1, 2,
go.
3, 4, 5. You get a momentum. So make sure you keep track of that.
Alright,
And
thank you.
the ship rolls severely, but you manage to pull it back on course. And we'll come back to you guys remember you guys have to scan for cloaked mines, which is not going to be easy. So I did have to spend threat for that, but we'll come back to you guys in a moment. So on the bridge, let's see. On the bridge, Commander Zed, you are. Why is it not? Oh, it's because I didn't stop it. There we go. On the bridge, Commander Zed is in command. His acting XO is the Strategic Operations Officer by the name of Logan Dawson. You can see the individuals who are currently on the bridge. I will let Lieutenant Carr, if you want to decide if you want to be in the bridge or in engineering, just swap out your token for
In engineering, I'll
Okay.
answer that right away.
And science, Neelan, do you want to be on the bridge or in a science lab?
I'll be on the science lab.
Okay. Medical, Dr. Santosi, do you want to be on the bridge or in sick bay?
I'm in sick bay unless requested otherwise.
Cool. So I don't have to move any tokens. Awesome. So it looks like, just from a glance, I think Commander Zed, you are the only player character on the bridge. What are your orders? Now, you know that your directives have been to stay outside the Bassin Rift. Sensors and communications is pretty much impossible within the Bassin Rift, so you can't tell what's going on exactly. I can give you a scan, or I can show you guys an LCARS display of what you guys would see. So if you're looking at the Roll20, the Legion is there. Last known location of the shuttle before it disappeared from sensors, I should say, would be basically at the edge of the Bassin Rift. The coordinates of the Romulan listening outpost is there. The dimensional portal that it's monitoring is to the southeast of that directly. And then further south, you guys know that there is a Romulan power supply depot. May or may not come up later. So,
Is the green cloud area the? Oh, sorry, Matt. Carry on.
He's gonna keep basically he's gonna keep a active scan on the Romulan power station supply just in case.
So you can't scan anything inside the Bassin Rift. You only know it's there because of other reconnaissance ships that have gone in and told you it's there. So what you saw on the screen is basically the last known location of things. Doesn't mean it's actually there because your sensors don't work in the Bassin Rift. Also, I do have a question for your character. Since this is it's been a month, maybe a month and a half. This is his first command since the Enterprise D. How is he feeling? How is Commander Zed feeling about that?
He's feeling a little anxious because he only had command of the Enterprise D during combat, he's a little antsy that just in case the Romulans think it's a good idea to attack. So he's a little nervous, and he's actually occasionally picks at the bottom of the chair because he finds a spot right underneath the chair that no one notices that he picks at.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Does he have any orders for anyone on the bridge at the moment? Because we're going to jump to another location on the ship if he doesn't.
He's gonna say just keep active scans around the area just in case.
Gotcha. Who's that science? That'll be your science assistant science officer. I never remember the name. Oh yeah, Esau, Lieutenant Esau. I'll go ahead and roll, see if anything comes up. It'll be a control a reason and science. Probably nothing, but you never know. Does anyone want to roll for the Legion today? Wow, I got 2 successes on the science. All right.
Oh, I'm doing the shuttle. I might as well do the ship too.
All right, it'll be sensors and science. And it should be just above the shuttle. And just 1 dice. Alright, so you have a total of 2 successes. Science Officer Lieutenant Esau glances over to the commander's head and says, "So far, all silent, sir." Alright, so we're going to jump to... We're going to actually jump to the corridor because I don't have a science lab page yet. But we are in the science lab. Lieutenant Nealon, you are running. You've been ordered to run an experiment to determine if some particles that were previously discovered in a nebula can be used as a source of power. When you were when the Legion was in the nebula, probably a week ago, you noticed that there was a lot of particulate matter that was glowing, lighting up. And so the ship had it transported into quarantine, and now you're running experiments on it to see if that matter or those particles can be used for anything other than sparklies, nice sparkles. So go ahead and make a reason and science check. Difficulty is going to be 1.
A 13 and a 3.
Nice. So yeah, you think that if this could be used for any kind of long-term power supply, then it's definitely number 1, you're going to need a lot more of it. Number 2, it's going to take a lot more scientific method to kind of get to that point, because you can see how it can be used, but you can't tell how you can methodically make it into something useful. Now we're going to jump to sickbay. Dr. Santosi, actually, before we jump to sickbay, the lab, as you're messing with this thing in this container, these particles, the lights inside the science lab begin to flicker. What is Lieutenant Nealon's immediate response to that?
Well, that can't be good.
Perfect. That's where we're going to jump to sickbay from. So yeah, in sickbay, Dr. Santosi, you have just, let's see, pick some random person. An Aurelian, which is a bird creature, basically. He's a science officer named Ensign Hadron Ayel, and he was maybe practicing a bit too hard on the holodeck. After all, he's from Turkana 4, which is known for its harsh environment, and he was practicing his aerodynamics, and he, I guess, hit the holodeck wall a bit too hard, and you kind of had to help him fix up his wing, but he nods to you and says, thank you, doctor. I feel much better.
Anytime, just take it easy the next time you do your holograph training, and hopefully we won't have this problem again.
Of course, doctor. Thank you. And as he's leaving, like before he even gets to the door, as the door opens, it stutters. It stops opening for a brief second. You barely notice it, and then it opens fully. It doesn't seem that the Aurelian and his keen senses have noticed that. But after he kind of walks through the door is shut a bit too fast, and you see that his tail feathers almost get caught in the door, which is not normal at all, not even for this old ship.
I will contact, I guess it would be an engineer, to the engineering department. Be like, hey, I think we got a problem with our doors here in sick bay.
That's a good time to transfer over to engineering. Lieutenant Carr, you're in engineering. Just what exactly are you doing? Are you just doing random routine diagnostics, or are you trying to fix something specifically at the moment?
As far as I knew, nothing was wrong.
Not yet.
So.
What? Okay. So yeah, you're just in there doing basic duties.
Probably.
Basic duties, and that's when you get the call from the doctor.
Dr. Santosi to Lieutenant Carr.
Carr here. Go ahead.
We just had an instance with our door that seems to be malfunctioning. Maybe you can send someone to take a look at that.
Seems to be malfunctioning. Okay. Yeah, I'll get one of my guys right on it.
Thank you. Santosi out.
Lieutenant
So
Ustam. Sorry,
Okay.
Lieutenant Ustam is kind of sort of nearby, and he overhears that and looks over. He says, "You want me to send one of my maintenance guys down, or handle it myself?"
Well, given the vague nature of this malfunction, I'll leave that up to your judgment. I don't know. They weren't very specific about what's going on, but just want to make sure it gets fixed.
By the way, I'll head down there myself. But before I go, I just wanted. He hands you a data pad. He says, "I noticed this a few minutes ago on the ship-wide diagnostic of the bioneural isolinear packs. It looks like we have a 0.1% power drain. That might be accounting for what's going on with the doors and the lights. But I just thought I'd let you know before I head down there. If there's anything else you want me to do in accordance with that, then just let me know. I'll handle it."
Well, I suppose you could check the nearest bioneural gel pack to the sickbay door while you're at it. Keep an eye on things from here, though. Good catch.
Yes, sir. And he heads out. By the way, Lieutenant Nealon, does he call engineering for a similar request, or is he trying to figure it out on his own in the lab?
Lieutenant Nealon to the bridge.
Let's see. Commander Zed, that's you.
Is there any
Commander Zed?
fluctuation? Is there any fluctuation in power that you're seeing right now?
No.
Well, you've got to ask your ops officer first before you know that.
He goes, Ops, do we have any weird abnormalities with in the ship?
One moment, sir. I'll run a check. And she runs a diagnostic. Not really, sir. I'm not noticing anything. It could be a console malfunction or a analytic display issue.
Well, I'm experiencing power fluctuations in the lighting in the room.
During this time, Lieutenant Carr just may have transmitted something to Lieutenant Cook, who's up there as well.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You said Lieutenant Carr transmitted something to who?
Lieutenant Cook is manning the engineering station on bridge, so Lieutenant Carr probably has also sent something up to her just to
Okay.
keep an eye out for this.
All right.
Two eyes are better than one, kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Let me roll for Cook since Ops actually rolled 0 successes. All right. Cook glances over her shoulder to Commander Zed and says, "Sir, I'm reading a 0.2% power drain at this current moment. It is coming from 2 sections of the ship: Bioneural Gel Pack Section 13, which is near sickbay, and number 17, which is near the science lab, or one of the science
He
labs."
looks at he looks over his shoulder and says, "Well, send somebody to both their locations."
Roger that, sir. And she'll send the dispatch information since Ustam is already heading that way. She'll send it to Ustam and Lieutenant Carr, so Lieutenant Carr can have all the information and make decisions accordingly. So I'm gonna jump back to the shuttle real quick, as engineering is deciding what to do. Have you already rolled you're back on track as far as navigation is concerned, but I'm going to need a reason and security to roll to see if you can detect with the scanners, detect those other mines out there, which you can tell they're out there, you just cannot tell where. And because sensors are pretty much non-existent in the Vassan Rift, the difficulty is 5 and the complication range is 5.
I'm turning to Zukov here. What's your reason security?
Oh, my reason security? Let me just grab that. My
Probably.
reason is 8, my security is 5.
Okay, you are better than I am, and if I assist you, I might be able to take down the difficulty we're constantly watching.
Alright, what's the complication range?
5.
Okay, I'm going to roll. Let's go.
I recommend consuming things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might want to consume some of that momentum we've got.
3 successes.
Yeah.
You just need 2 more.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to roll for the shuttle, it's going to be sensors and security.
Alright, I'll do the assist.
One more.
One
Come
more
on,
success.
Let's go. Come on, ship. Let's go.
Who's rolling for the ship again? Oh, there it is. 5. So you have your 5 successes. You briefly, so briefly, detect a grid pattern of mines that are surrounding the supposed coordinates of the listening outpost, which is still we'll say at full impulse, it's like 10 minutes away. At maneuvering thrusters, it's like half an hour away. So I guess the question is, what do you want to do, Captain?
By the way, did constantly watching engage to reduce the difficulty to 4, which means we'd have an extra momentum.
You got a momentum then, yep.
Excellent. In that case, okay, so from our scans, do we have any idea of the sort of edges of the minefield or any path through it?
So, because you got such a quick glimpse, and even that was basically like, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. It wasn't like it was so much of like pinpoints of where each mine was. It was more of like a relatively vague grid-like pattern of a bunch of flashing lights. So even if you like took an image of it with your ship's sensors, and so that you had a still image of it, it would basically be near impossible to basically figure out a path around it. But if you make an insight and con roll, then you could have a chance of doing that. And that is going to be a difficulty 5 with a complication range of 2.
Complication 2. This is where I turn to the back and no pressure. Cadet Mork, come up if you please.
Okay, you look around the corner. Yes, sir.
Cadet Mork, Have a look at this. It shows him the sort of scan of the mines that we had. There's now, from my reading of our various personnel files, you're probably the best pilot here at the moment. Do you think you are capable of navigating through that? He points at it. There is no shame in you giving me an honest answer if you feel unable to do the work.
Would it daring con or is it insight or reason con? Is that what,
It's going to be
It's insight
insight
con.
because you're going to have to require a bit of instinct.
and it's a difficulty 5?
Difficulty
No,
5,
no,
complication
it's
range
the
2. If you want to. Sorry, I was muted. If you want to, you can reduce the difficulty by 1 to 4, but you have to increase the complication range to 5. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's up to you.
You have some limited assistance to you, but do you feel able to do so?
Would I have any? You said I would have assistance on it. Is that correct?
Yes, I could provide you with some assistance by helping direct your course through the minefield.
And how many momentum do we have?
Oh, we have 3.
Well, if everyone would be okay with it, I could buy some extra dice. And yeah, I think if with assistance and the shuttle would assist, and yeah, I say we could do this. Yeah.
All right, how many extra dice do you think you'd need?
All of them.
If we're going to increase, if we're going to do all of them, and you say increase the complication range to 5.
No, don't increase the complication
It's only
range
2.
if you're going to roll that many dice. If you roll, so if that, because with 3 momentum you'd be rolling 4 dice, you get a 5th from me. Well, because I'd be doing the roll, and we've got the shuttle.
The complication
It's 1 for 1.
Okay.
complication range is 2, and since my house rule is 1 momentum for 1 dice, if you use all 3, you can get 5 d20.
Can I use
Oh yes, of course, 5. Yeah,
nibble-
because I forget.
Can I use nimbleness and quickness as a focus?
Yeah.
Quick on the
Sure.
on the maneuver.
Yeah.
All right.
You need all the help
All
you can get.
All right. I'm going to roll 5 dice. Complication range is. Can you tell me what the complication range again, please? Is it
2.
Is it 2? 2. Okay. Here we go. This never works.
Okay. And here's my assist.
And what's the
Yes,
shuttle?
that's 4. That's 4 out of 5. I don't know if constantly watching affects this.
No.
Or not. Okay,
So
fair
the
enough.
shuttle,
So we need
the shuttle is
the
going to
shuttle.
be sensors and con.
There it is.
Excellent.
Nice. So
go.
you guys are if you spit out the window, you will hit several mines. So like they're super close to you guys, but you actually do make it. I would say more than halfway with maneuvering thrusters at low speed. You do make it more than halfway through the minefield. However, I'm going to spend another threat, and
Oh God.
I need someone to make a reason and security roll. This is another scan, but it's not for the mines. You already kind of know where they are. This is for the outpost you're heading towards. So reason and security. The difficulty is 3. Complication range is just 1.
I look to Zukov. I guess my reason security is 7-4.
My reason security is 8-5.
Go ahead. I'm all in insight and presence.
What's my complication range for this one?
Just 1.
Okay, bet. I bet.
And the ship
No, I
can
can
roll
Baba
sensors
booey.
security for an assist.
Ababooey.
We already succeed.
Yep. So I mean, but you got 0 momentum. You might want to roll anyway to get some momentum if you can.
Yeah, gets
This is a
free real
complication. I
estate.
curse you.
All right, you
Okay.
you got a momentum. So you actually detect bioorganic matter just ahead near where the this outpost is. There is some kind of life form in space.
Is it directly between us and the station?
It's probably like a couple of meters away from the station. Best guess, someone took a short walk out an airlock.
Right. Okay. Oh, so is it giving off? You say bioorganic. It does. Is it reading as alive? You know, it's got heat and so forth. Although we are not actively sensing that close to the station.
So I don't think your sensors would be able to tell you that, but I'll tell you for free that if it is alive, it's not going to be for very long.
Okay. Well, in that case, the captain will say, keep an eye on that, Lieutenant Zukov, but do not risk putting active scanners anywhere near the station. It will detect us. Helm, steady as you go.
One of the
I'm
mines
going
begins to
let this-
drift towards the shuttle. I'm going to need a daring con, difficulty 5, complication range 5.
You do not want us to survive this.
No, I want you to survive it, but there's something else I want to happen that's not happening. and I think one of you knows which one it is, but I don't remember who. And I am spinning
Daring
through
con.
it.
Am I at the con or
Whoever's
You
got the
are.
best con is probably at the con at this point.
okay? And is it okay? We have no momentum, right?
I
So
don't
That is
remember.
correct. We've got one. It's a
I could buy
5-5.
dice, or what do you guys want? What do you guys want me to do? I could buy dice.
You can give
I
threat.
think.
I'm running out of it.
Yeah, I think threat. We need to save the momentum for re-rolls and such.
Yeah.
So you're giving me
Give
threat.
threat.
Okay. Yeah, we can. How many do you guys think?
I'd say 3 probably. That way you're rolling 5 dice, and then I can
And if I
assist
use-
you. Which
Back, what I miss?
And if I have
Nothing yet.
untapped
Another mine.
potential,
God damn it.
well,
I
actually,
have
it's not a
untapped
mine. It's
potential.
something.
What's that do?
So I mean, for each, I think it's for every threat you can reroll a 1 if you succeed with the task.
Okay. If you succeed with the task being the catchphrase.
Yeah. So okay, I'll. How many threat do you think? How many threat would you like guys like me to spend?
I would like you to
3.
spend a
1,
lot.
2,
3.
3. Okay, 3. Sure. All right.
We will survive this. We will complete our mission.
Ah,
Okay, that's good. I can get here comes my assist, which is going to also activate the advisor talent. Okay, but
Shuttle.
well, yeah, the shuttle. Also, I have assisted you. You get a free roll of that, even though it didn't contribute anything. I still assisted, so you get a free re-roll of the complication.
And the shuttle rolls engines con.
I'm able to assist, am I?
How do you want to assist?
Well, most likely.
oh, we made it. So if
Yeah.
I bought
She's at home.
if I bought 3 with threat, I can reroll. You reroll for each one on the untapped potential. This is a task spot with 1 or more additional dice with your momentum. Reroll 1, but I think that's just for 1. I don't know.
Either way, you've got a free re-roll of the complication because I'm here. Or
Yeah,
Cosper is there.
I don't know. Is untapped potential, does that only work once per game, like, or is it any time?
I think it's anytime. It didn't say once per.
I think it's any time because it's just a talent.
Right.
Anytime.
So
Succeeds at a task for which they bought 1 or more dice. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll a d6, and if you get a 1 or a 2, you get that much momentum. If you get an effect, I get threat.
Okay, 1 second. Just roll 1 of them.
Yep, just roll 1.
All right, look at there.
All right, nice. I get all my threat back.
Yep, he gets all the threat back. You
All right.
still haven't
It's looking
re-rolled the
good.
complication, which you can do.
I thought he did.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
let's
reroll.
reroll.
No, he didn't.
Oh.
Josh has
No.
not rolled that yet.
Yeah. I was rolling the thing for the.
All right.
I'm working on it, guys. So in a second. I promise.
All right. So you have
Oh,
a total of
So
5
the
successes.
complication goes, we succeed.
Yep, you're good on that. So as far as Zukov, as far as your success goes, if you want to, you can. But if you fail, if you get a 0 or a complication, well, if you get a complication, you're keeping it. But if you fail, then you have to roleplay how you fail. If you want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys are approaching the outpost and not damaged hardly at all, unfortunately. We're gonna jump back to the ship. Let's actually go to engineering to see what Lieutenant Carr is up to. What is Ustam went to go to the sickbay area. What is Lieutenant Carr doing?
Hang on just a second. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'll go to someone else then. Let's go to sickbay. Sickbay. The door's open. Ustam enters. He's a Orion man. In case you forgot, he's bald. He's on the screen right now. He looks around at the door that's kind of not really trying to close, and for a few seconds, then it closes, and then the lights begin to flicker, and he looks down at a pad as he enters and says, "Power going down 0.5% rate." He kind of groans and then looks up to the doctor and he says, "How long has this been going on, Doc?"
I just noticed it a few moments ago when a patient left sickbay. The doors acted a little strangely.
I see. Well, they're bioneural, so I could probably use your help if you don't mind.
I'll look at my pads. Like, yeah, things seem to be pretty calm in sickbay. I can spare a few moments.
All right, so he leads you out to the corridor where the bioneural gel pack the bioneural isolinear packs are located within the wall. Pulls off a panel, and at first glance, just running a tricorder, it just comes back as normal. It does come back with a 5% power loss. So let's see if we can't get a. This is going to be. Let's see. This is going to be a timed task. He looks over to you and he kind of mutters. He says, "Well, this isn't good. We've got about 25 minutes, 30 minutes max before the ship's power systems become so drained that we can't leave this area and get to anywhere at warp. So we're going to have to do this pretty quickly." So give me a. So this is going to be 3 intervals, and each interval is 2 tasks. So that's 6 tasks to complete this this overall timed task. So give me a. We'll go with reason and medicine, or insight and medicine, either one. As you're kind of trying to look at your medical tricorder to kind of figure out what's wrong with what's the biological component, or what's wrong with the biological components of these gel packs. As he kind of moves isolinear chips around.
Xenobiology focus?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, and what's the difficulty?
The difficulty is going to be 3. The complication range is still just 1.
I'm going to burn the momentum to reroll.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you're scanning it. You can see it going down from 0.5% to 0.6%. And as far as the actual biology is concerned, they look. The bioneural aspect of it looks completely fine. As far as you can tell, it is also affecting only non-essential systems like lighting, and depending on how well you like your doors to move, the doors. Let's see.
Was there a way we can just rip these bio gel packs out of the door, and just keep the doors propped open?
I mean, yeah, you
so
can. That don't require a roll. You could just, manually override the doors and just keep them open. But the Ustam is more concerned of the power drain itself, because if it spreads, it's going to be really bad.
Well, that's why I'm suggesting if he could pull out the biogel packs, maybe that'll contain the spread.
He actually, you know what? He's gonna hit his combat and say Ustam to Lieutenant Carr.
Carr here.
It seems we've found the affected gel packs. They're at a power loss rate of 0.7% as of right now. If this rate continues to escalate as it is, within half an hour we're going to more or less be stranded. The doctor here recommends pulling out the gel packs themselves so that they don't continue to drain. However, I'm contacting you because I'm worried that if this is an isolated problem, then that would work. But if this is something that's throughout the ship, we can't just unattach every single gel pack. So I would like to let you in on the issue so you can make the decision. And he just kind of waits.
So, Lieutenant Carr, by the way, has at his console in engineering basically like a giant power map of just kind of all the circuits and different things, because he's trying to see if it's like a single circuit that's being the problem or if it's multiple circuits. Because if it's just one circuit, he can just shut off the power to that branch, and it'd be and that would presumably be fine.
Right.
So I don't mind making a roll to do that. I'm just saying that's kind of where his troubleshooting mind is going.
Okay. So I don't know if you heard when I explained it, but this is going to be a timed challenge, meaning it's going to take a certain amount of
25 minutes. You said.
Yeah. So basically, every two task rolls is going to be an amount of time. So Dr. Santosi just rolled to determine the biological aspect of it, and now I need you to roll a reason or insight engineering. Difficulty 5, complication range 2. I am increasing the complication range to 3 with a threat.
Okay. And then I'll use my diagnostics troubleshooting focus.
Okay. What kind of
help me a little bit.
What kind of assistance would you like? Would you like someone from the bridge to assist? Would you like one of your engineers in engineering to assist, or would you just like the ship to assist?
Let me see, because you said it was a difficulty 5, and I've only got 2 dice, and we don't have any momentum.
Actually, you know what? I'm spending threat again and saying the ship cannot assist because of the nature of the power drain.
Okay, fair enough.
Makes sense.
And that probably means Lieutenant Cook can't do much from the bridge with her controls.
Earlier she did some pretty useful stuff. She could potentially assist with analyzing the situation, but like rerouting power and stuff like that, it would be an even harder difficulty than what you're doing now.
Okay. Well, if it's rerouting power, then it's probably going to just be done in main engineering anyway. So he's just going to have to call over the nearest engineer and go, "Hey, we need your help right now."
Okay.
Then.
All right, you have one assist from an engineer.
Okay, and I think I will I will use a value here, if possible. Starships are easier to maintain than friendships. He's got to get this starship back maintained, and he's been
sure.
Okay.
But you know what?
And then
I'm going to spend another threat to say if this fails, if you fail at this task, you have to change that value. Because clearly it's not. Clearly ships are not easier to maintain than friendships if you fail. So if you accept that,
that'll be a nice
sure.
big character building arc for the rest of the show if that's the case. But anyway,
Ooh.
There you go. I will change that value. It's for you.
Oh, I expected you to give me threat for more dice or something, and for some reason it's not telling me. Oh, it's probably because it's popped out of Roll20. Oh man! All right, so I said what? Difficulty 5, or did I say difficulty 3?
You said difficulty of 5.
Okay.
If I have 4 successes, I'm short 1. I guess one thing it won't really help in this case, but I can at least add 1 momentum to the group pool with backup plans, but I don't know if I have any backup plans because I just
Can we actually assist from the bridge?
You know what?
Or
Yeah,
not?
I'm gonna have that other role was an engineer because the engineering role is. So I'm just gonna have Miros.
My backup is to call Zed because he's a former engineer too.
Sure.
I do
Zed,
that.
Zed, you want to roll presence or insight engineering? But if you roll presence, you have to actually role play out what you say to the chief engineer.
Okay,
But
that means
you gotta
I
role play
activate
either
the
way.
maintenance. Yeah, I'm gonna activate one of my talents. Is you're an expert in conducting direct, normal, day-to-day maintenance and repairs on a starship equipment. Whenever the required to perform maintenance reduces the difficulty by 1 at a minimum of 1, and hails the time and completion the task. So I basically turn around and say, can't you reroute it through another system or a perfect to block it off from that Pacific junction? Is there other ways you can break the connection to not let it drain any more power?
All right, roll insight or presence engineering as Lieutenant Carr attempts to execute your advice. Unfortunately, that does not work.
Can I still use my talent?
Oh,
or not?
because it reduced the difficulty. So yeah, I guess it did work. So
Yeah.
you don't have to change that value, Carr. All right.
Carr like crawled into a Jeffrey's tube and smacked an Icelandic chip back in his face. Just stay together.
Jiggle it.
So loud.
So as you're banging on the console or whatever you're doing, you notice the power drain rate is now 0.8%. Yeah, you basically start rerouting power from the sickbay and the science lab location or to that location to kind of help with the power loss. And then when you do that, you will notice that another location on the ship begins to lose power. A completely different location that has nothing to do with the other two locations, because the other two locations were at least somewhat close by, so you could be like, oh well, maybe they're related.
Mm-hmm.
This part of the ship is like the rear of the ship, like closer to engineering than sickbay or the science lab, and so now you guys are at 0.9% at a power loss. However, you have determined that this is not a biological issue. This is not even a technically a technical issue. This is a power allocation and redistribution issue, meaning maybe there's a flaw in the computer programming, but something is telling the computer, hey, we don't need power here. Pull it over here. So that's what you figure out.
Okay, realizing that, just out of character, that makes me think there's that could be even a security issue. So in character, Lieutenant Carr will probably contact. I guess he's just probably going to contact the bridge, talk to Commander Zed, just relay what you've just told me.
Okay.
Just that it's like there's something with this. Something is telling us to redirect this power. It's not a biological issue. It's not any of our equipment. Something is telling us to do this.
All right, so I'm gonna let, if you guys want to, I'll let you role play that back and forth. I've got to go handle some family stuff for about 10 minutes, so once you guys are done role playing, you can take a break. But yeah, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
He goes, I'll have to get security onto that to see if it's to scan who may be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I can at least have our guys monitor the feed, see if there's any additional signals that are crossing in, or if there's any. I mean, we could we could check some of the code and see if there's been any code that's been recently added, but can't think of. He kind of goes quiet for a minute as he's trying to think of he's trying to just make a list right now of who is the last person to work on this system and that system, and He's going to start pulling up logs and look into that. He won't really say much more, though, I guess, at that point.
And Commander Zed is like thinking, if I go down to the computer core and actually pull up the code, because Chief, do you want to meet me at the computer core to we can pull up the codes?
All due respect, Sue, don't you have a bridge to command?
Yeah, but well, we can't actually go anywhere if our ships fail.
Okay, let me grab a kit and I'll be right down there.
Yep. I just thought, well, because I've got the activate like technical expertise, I can just come down there and actually go, okay, let's go and work on this, so we don't have to worry about the systems. Find out what
warbird
the heck
appears. No.
Car's probably getting in
What
trouble
the
for
heck
that,
is going
for
on with the
questioning it
system?
only.
Yeah. Have you been able to work out if this is a power allocation issue and stuff's being shunted around, where the power's going to? Because we don't have less power; it's just somewhere else.
Right, and
Yeah.
like where did the power problem start, and where is this power being diverted to?
Is bioneural
that's why
gel
we
packs
actually-
heating up at all?
That's why I actually want to look through the computer core if there's any problems with the programming or somebody's actually in the system itself.
I mean, can we discount any outside influences, like outside the ship, somehow?
There was that
affecting the
power
ship?
station out there.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to need to drain on his resources.
Who knows?
Well, part of me is kind of thinking that there might be some sort of biological something or other leaching the power or just draining it from one place to another place, but maybe not. I don't know.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I have that like energy thing, stasis or whatnot, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I was thinking that thing is draining our power to, but I wanted to rule it out. Rule any sabotage first.
Definitely.
I mean, worst comes to worst, it's just we turn all the ship power off, leave it for 2 minutes, and turn it all back on. No, no
Everybody's
one
just sort of like
wants
floating around as the artificial gravity's off awkwardly for 2 minutes.
isolation. Hold on to something.
We've got enough air for 2 minutes, right? Yes.
Shut down all non-essential power. Just keep life support and gravity on.
Any sensible ship will have those. So obviously not us. We'll have those on a completely separate system.
Well, and I was also thinking that a lot of ships, especially as the bigger ships, a lot of times sickbay has an independent power source as well. So that's something.
Yeah. The problem isn't so much, I imagine, I'm speculating wildly here, an independent power source. In the yes, okay, medbay's got one, but it's integrated to the rest of the power system as well. So it's a generator that can keep medbay going, but if something's in the rest of the system, it can get into medbay. If you see what I mean?
Right. Normally, it's a redundant system with the extra power, but if there's an issue with the power system, it could still be affected.
Yeah.
Something else. Oh, go ahead.
What I'm wondering is if I think the Sovereign's got this, because of course Voyager had all sorts of technical problems with its bioneural gel packs, but still a good idea. And I seem to remember that they introduced some kind of safety system. It's not going to be relevant now, where you could essentially take everything down to reserve, like minimum power, only running the core features of the ship, and you could disengage all the bioneural gel packs. So you could keep running and take all the bioneural gel packs out and just have core systems only. But yeah.
Time consuming.
Oh, it was like a switch. It's like they had they weren't ripping binaural power jacks. They had the isolinear stuff like in parallel, and they could just go boop, and go over to the isolinear. That won't help if it's nothing to actually do with the binaural packs.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, the only other thing that I can think of is like if there were some sort of external signal that was causing different circuits to activate or something. But again, we seem to know that we are losing power. We just don't seem to know where it's going. So if it's going somewhere on the ship, that could even be an explanation. But it wouldn't be like as all.
Yeah, because it's a power
with aircraft.
It's a power
you have to do that. I know.
Yeah, it's a power drain, not a power loss. So the core and so forth is still putting out as much as possible. So I guess you could scan the immediate area around you. That way, if you're just venting it off into space in the form of heat or some such, you'll work it out. And if that's not happening, then it's staying somewhere inside or attached to the ship. And then, if it's inside the ship, you should be able to work out what's got a power surge. I say this talking out my
thermal
ass.
scan, maybe is what you're saying. If it's like if it's heat dissipation.
Yeah, at least it would rule it out in a
inside the ship
jiffy.
anyway. Well, we're going to the computer core first. Maybe the computer core is getting hot. That'd be great.
Yeah. We might as well start somewhere.
Needs a cold compress and a cup of tea.
Yeah, if the captain comes back and the whole ship's fucked up, then we're not doing our job.
Then we'll have a discussion about who I made my assistant chief engineer at that point.
I also have another theory. The lightened energy that we have in science, I believe, might be, I don't know, living or so.
Always a life form. Where did you get it?
It was in a nebula, I believe. I can't remember.
Scooping bits out of nebula, half the time they're alive.
See, I'm more useful to Carl if I'm in engineering, because I can activate some of my talents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Lieutenant Carl will make sure to keep Masco Z on speed dial.
Yep.
Alright, so where were we? Oh yeah, check off that one. So you're 10 minutes in, and you've figured out that it is some sort of power reallocation issue. Could be a number of things. But anyway, let's see.
We're going to the computer core.
Who is we?
To suss out where it is.
Lieutenant Carr
and Zed.
Zed and Carr, is that what you said?
Zed.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Alright. Well, I don't have a picture of a computer core, so I'll just keep it on engineering. You both head to the computer core. What are you looking for? What are you doing?
See if anyone's played with the programming in the computer, or is there anything weird about the coding in the system itself?
So that's going to be an insight or reason engineering. Difficulty is going to be 4. Complication range, just 1. Can't really complicate this very much.
You wanna
I think I can take the main role and grab a momentum, or use one of our momentum as well.
And I'm spinning threat to say the ship cannot assist.
Yeah, it's okay. At least I've got another engineer with me.
Yep.
Oh. Hey, just get it right back. We'll have to deal with whatever else comes along.
I'm going to activate my right tools for the job, just to be on the safe side.
And what does that do?
Because we don't have the computer, so we have to improvise in the moment.
So what does that talent do?
Basically, engineers are trained to identify and use appropriate tools whenever they are working with a dedicated component. Oh, that's for the components, physical. So maintenance specialist, can I use that again?
Maintenance
This is the difficulty.
Day 2 maintenance, whenever they are this isn't really maintenance, it's more like investigating computer issues. If you thought that the computer core was broken, like specifically,
yeah,
which you don't think it is, like I said, if there is it's not a mechanical issue, it's a software issue. So even if you thought the software was broken or the coding was broken or something, I don't think that would really apply here in this maintenance specialist. That's more physical labor kind of maintenance. At least that's the way I read it. But what was that right tool for the right job? Let me read that one again. Working on computers are delicate components that make up complex systems. Yep. Whenever you acquire an engineering tool with an opportunity cost, the tool grants an advantage if it did not do so originally, or increases the advantage it provides by one step. So why don't you just ask me for a tool that you can diagnose the computer core with do you have any momentum? Or no?
We spent it. No.
Okay.
No, we don't have any.
Then
We did get 4 successes.
All right. So yeah, you can't. If you had momentum, you could buy a tool, and then you could basically have, instead of it just having. In fact, if you had bought the tool first, it would have reduced. You could have reduced the difficulty by 2. So keep that in mind next time, because advantages can reduce difficulty as well. So yeah. But at the moment, is there anything else, any other way that you want to try to get another success? You want to call another engineer? You want to call a friend?
I thought you said it was a difficulty 4.
Oh, did I? Oh, I'm assuming it's 5. I always assume it's 5. Okay, so, but what about that complication though?
Oh,
I didn't think there could be a complication, but now I have to come up with one.
Let me tell you from real world experience, computers can be very, very complicated.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
Crazy stuff.
But considering I know what's wrong with it, it's hard to make a complication out of it. Okay, I think I know what it's going to be.
Running an update.
Speaking of which, definitely completely unrelated. Who'd you leave in charge of the bridge, Zed?
Whoever's my XO at the current time.
Logan Dawson. Got it. All right. So you succeed, and you find out that the computer has been accessed deliberately by someone on your ship and has been draining power deliberately, but you cannot figure out who. Not just yet, anyway.
Okay. This is intentional sabotage.
I'm going to jump to the shuttle. If you guys want to think on that, on what you could possibly do to figure it out in the meantime, that's cool. Alright, so you guys are like literally a few minutes out from the outpost. You've detected a now dead individual dropped off one of the airlocks, it seems. And you're making your way there. I'm not going to spend any more threat to have any more minds get a mind of their own. Get it? Mind. Anyway. And try to attack you. However, I will spend 2 threat to say that your engines begin to overload, and someone's going to have to fix them in order for you to continue forward. Search for the Beastie Boys. What is that? I don't get that right.
Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Oh, you're fucking so funny. Okay.
Son of a bitch.
So yeah, your engines they still work. You're still moving towards the outpost, but they're overloading and they're maneuvering thrusters. You can't use impulse because of how many mines there are. So the maneuvering thrusters will eventually overload and die. So what do you do? Since you're in charge, Captain, what are your orders?
All right. Well, I'm okay engineering to fix that. Did you say it would be insight engineering?
You know what? This will have to be control, because it's going to require some intricate.
What's your engineering?
What's the difficulty on control on this one?
It's going to be a difficulty 4, and it's going to be complication range 5.
Difficulty 4, complication range 5. Okay, I've got 11 and 3 without a relevant focus.
Not bad.
But I can get us some other successes. Anyone else beat that?
Not yet.
I got like a control 10, engineering 3.
Okay, so I slightly beat you. I'm guessing we beat. Okay, all right.
That's out there. Can we allow the momentum just to take us forward?
Well, yes.
Yep.
But we're gonna
maneuvering thrusters are used to turn, so you would just go straight.
Yeah, and avoid the mines, and
yeah.
we're gonna need them at some point.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And brake, so we don't just go into the station.
Right. I was.
Yeah.
My thought process was maybe easier to repair later on. Sorry. Like, you know.
Okay, so it's difficulty 4, complication range 5. We have no momentum. All right, Osprey will say, Lieutenant, assist me as best you can. Merc, stay on the helm. And then he will...
Understood, Captain.
No worries.
He'll go back and... Thank you, Kel. He'll set to it. I will consume a point of determination and rely on the directive of you get information from the station, because we're not going to otherwise. So that'll be 2 automatic successes.
Which value was that? Sorry.
No, not a value, directive.
Oh, gotcha.
Which I think you can use in the same way for complete operation for Starfleet security.
Yep.
And thinking if I can get extra dice. I will purchase 1 extra dice with threat. And here we go. Hey, we succeed!
I said 3? I thought I said 4.
You said 4, but I bought 2.
Oh, that's
so that's
right.
5.
How quickly I forget. Does anyone want to roll for the ship? Well, actually, yeah, the ship can't fix its own engines if they're overloading. That wouldn't really work that well. So yeah, you've got your 3, 4, 5, so you get 1 momentum back.
Fantastic.
Yeah, 1 momentum.
I'll now roll a challenge dice for the veteran skill to see if I just get the determination back.
Okay.
Oh, that was a reputation roll.
Why are you even on that
one.
page?
Because it had
a
a
separate page.
little Starflex bag next
Oh,
to it. Yeah, it's a whole different page. I do!
Nice.
Huzzah.
So, you get the engines, you manage to feed the coolant back to the engines, and now you guys can move safely and normally. You approach closer. Now, as far as you know, they haven't detected you because all of their sensors are directed at this anomaly. They think that the mines will take care of anybody that comes near them. So as far as you know, they do not know you're there. We'll go ahead and tell you for free as your scanners begin to... because you're getting closer, you're able to determine that the individual that is outside in space is a Romulan lieutenant. He is. You can't really tell exactly why he decided to take a walk out in space, but he did. There's you don't see any bruises or contusions or disruptor burns. It just seems like he was in the airlock and then he wasn't, and that's as far as you can tell based on the passive sensors. I will also tell you, at this distance, if you direct your active scans at the outpost, they will detect you.
Is he wearing a spacesuit?
No. He's in
Okay.
full
All right.
Tal Shiar
Did
uniform.
he detect the explosion?
Did you detect the explosion? No, you did not detect an explosion on the station.
No. Did he detect the explosion on our small craft?
You would have no way of knowing.
They'd probably be doing something if they had. Hopefully they don't have some kind of automatic lay-in where if a mine goes boom, it just instantly tells the station, hey, but I imagine that the Bassin Rift's communication difficulties would prevent that kind of system from working at this range?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's something funky going on inside. From our scans just of the Bassin Rift before we went in, it's got all sorts of electromagnetic distortions, but I'm guessing you can do a spacewalk in it relatively safely.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, that you could definitely do that. The information you're looking for, however, is in the computer core within the outpost. So unless you're, so if, I guess I'm asking, are you trying to get over there with the EV suits, or are you trying to just like hook into their station from the exterior?
I was thinking hook into the station from the exterior, because whilst it'll have limited points to access the computer, there are still going to be some things from the door, from the outside, that you can access the computer on, like a redundant communications network, an outside airlock panel. Yeah, there are interfaces that we can get in through. Or heck, we can just cut a bit off the side and get into its circuitry that way.
So to do that, it's going to be a difficulty 4, and it's going to be a complication range of 4, which actually reduces it from what it was going to be, because you're doing it with hardware instead of just trying to hack into their computer. However, you do have to maneuver to get that close, because otherwise well, I guess you could stay where you are and just jump out from the back of your shuttle and then hopefully latch on to the side of the station with your EV suits. Although I will be having fun with my threat if you do that. So it's up to you how you want to do that.
And also, we'll of course do the thing where we've hooked onto the shuttle.
Of course.
So we don't just go wee.
Yep, you could have a cable, and that you just, you know. So how far do you want to be away from this outpost?
Yeah. Well, how far? Especially since we have functional thrusters, maneuvering thrusters. How close does Merc think he can get us?
I mean, he could literally dock with the station, and they won't detect you unless you bump into them. If you bump into them, they'll know. But if you just, because they have airlock, so if you wanted to back your shuttle into it and open your door and go into their airlock, they wouldn't detect you most likely up until the point of their airlock door opening, and then obviously they'll get it on the alert.
Yeah. So yeah, he might as well get right up that close, but we just don't use the airlock. If he can maneuver that closely next to an airlock, he can maneuver that closely next to a blank hull.
All right. So that is going to be a daring and con. Now that's going to be a difficulty 3, complication range 2. But the hardware hack itself to plug in and get their information, that will be the difficulty 4, complication 4. So Merc, it's going to be daring con, and the shuttle can assist.
Okay. Do we have any momentum?
1. I'd recommend using threat mod momentum. We kind of want to bank that momentum for a reroll.
All right. Can I buy 1 with threat, I suppose, then?
Sure.
Hey!
Whoa, nice. So that was a difficulty 4, right? No, difficulty 3. So you got 2 momentum back. You didn't get a complication, so that's good. And did the shuttle already roll?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so it'll be an engine.
You didn't say what it was.
Whoa, that's super robot-y. But yeah, engines, con, and 1 dice. Complication range 2. Alright, so that's another one for momentum. Alright, so you are right there. You could just reach, basically open your airlock door with an EV suit on, obviously. Don't do what this guy did. And plug in, and that'll be a So first of all, who's doing it? Who's physically doing it?
Probably Osprey again, because he's got the best. I'm guessing it's going to be control engineering.
Probably that.
Yeah, it'll be engineering. I will allow control or daring, since it is pretty fucking daring.
Oh. I'll definitely take control. I'll purchase. Shall we say 2 dice? Because it was a 4/4. So I'll purchase 2 dice with momentum, and also since I got that determination back, and this is important. Guess what I'm doing?
Gee, I don't know.
I'm using it again immediately.
Yeah, you can't use the same directive though. You gotta get a different directive
okay.
or value.
In that case, let me consult. No. It's within. Yeah, none of the other values quite get to it. Curses. But well. Yeah. So I'll take lead. People can assist as
yeah, someone could hold on to you as you're like floating out there in space. I don't know. Probably only one person though, because I'm pretty sure Merc is going to be at the con trying to make sure that the ship doesn't get hit by a mine or run into the outpost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be 2 people.
All right, so that's nice.
Okay, so we've got the appropriate amount, and let me see. That was with control. So that gives us 2 momentum. I kind of want to just buy out of it rather than do the reroll, but what do people think?
Isn't your and I might be misremembering what veteran does, but doesn't that allow you to reroll?
No, veteran means that when I use a determination, I have a chance of getting it back, and I can use it again later.
You just did it.
Seems like a time. Seems like a time not to allow a complication to go into play. So
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I'll just buy out of that, and that takes us back to 2 momentum.
All right. So you've plugged in whatever you need to, your USB drive or whatever, and the information is coming your way, and the little console or the little display at the front of the ship says "Download complete 100%," and it's you don't have to roll to remove the drive and get back in the ship. I'll just say you do that, but it is going to require a I'll say control con now, since you're in less of a precarious situation, to roll. yeah, exactly. Safe to remove USB. Control and con to get you guys away from there. You can spend a momentum, or you can roll reason security difficulty 1 to see if it has a virus, I suppose. It's up to y'all how you want to do that.
Reason security. Ooh. We've got. Well, shall we just do that later, like back at the ship?
When it's already infected you?
No. Before we plug it into anything.
Well, you've got it in your shuttle at the moment, so you basically can tell if you. It's basically a shuttle diagnostic. Hey, does it like you do with your computer? Is there a virus on my? It's not super crazy or difficult. It's just.
Well, it would be metagamey of me to go, let's do it in a way that conserves momentum.
However you want to do it.
Reason security. What's Zukov's reason security like?
Again?
It's just a difficulty 1, so.
Yeah, I'm guessing someone on the shuttle has a good security score.
Yeah.
Quietly raised his hand with a security 5.
Yeah. Yep. So it's a reason security difficulty 1.
Yep. Complication is just 1. Yeah. There's no virus on it, in case that wasn't clear when I didn't care what the difficulty was.
There is no virus here. There is no virus here.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Cadet Merc, take us out of the minefield at your leisure. There's no rush.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Control and con. Difficulty, I'm going to say, is 3. This is just to get you back into the minefield.
Okay.
Let's see.
He wants us.
I'm increasing the complication range to 3 as well. With threat.
And how
see
many
if-
momentum do we have? Because we gained some, then we used some.
Yeah, I think you have 2 still.
Permission to assist with sort of analysing
Sure.
the movement of the mines and with insight command.
Okay.
To excellent.
So I want to buy 1 dice.
Okay.
You say it's difficulty 3.
Yep. You've already got 1 success. Nice.
Oh.
You did it. Good thing you bought that dice.
Not
Yeah.
really comm officer, sir, but I'm doing pretty good. I don't mind saying. He punches a few more buttons.
Oh, Merc is getting a positive note in his file, assuming we all survive.
Why wouldn't you
That'll be
survive?
much appreciated.
And I'm definitely not moving you to a combat screen for any reason at all.
Oh, we're totally not going to be moved to a combat screen. Am I right?
So you pull away from the outpost, and everything seems to be fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen. However, we're going to transfer back to the Legion.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are still in the computer lab, right? Car and Zed.
That's
Yep.
correct.
Okay. that's
And
fair.
he's
I was just asking to
he's
make
gonna
sure that's
turn
where
to
you
call-
were. Well, let me do Santosi for real first, and
Yeah.
I'll come back to you guys. I just want to make sure that's where you weren't going back to the bridge or anything like that. All right, so Ustam and you guys have finished figuring out what's going on with the neural gel or the bioneural gel packs, at least in this section, and you determined by now that it's not really anything to do with the bioneural gel packs. It's just some kind of computer error is siphoning off power. So Ustam turns to the doctor and says, well, we've managed to stop the, at least for the moment, we've managed to stop the siphoning of power here. Would you like to assist me with the science lab? I believe Lieutenant Nealon is waiting for us there. Or waiting for me there, anyway.
Very well. Lead the way.
So as you guys walk, Ustam looks down at his tricorder and he says, the power drain rate is at 2% now. If we don't get this done quickly, we'll be in... To give you an idea, he looks over his shoulder and he holds up the tricorder and he shows you that the ship only has 75% of its normal power as of right now. If it gets to 65%, you would not be able to go to warp or basically go anywhere with any distance anytime soon. But yeah, he runs to the... sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I'll just say, well, then we better double time it to science lab, and she'll start picking up the pace.
Do you have any idea why you're sounding robot-y? Is that your...
I have no clue.
That it's not even like the signal's bad like normal robot-y. It's like you have a voice synthesizer on and it makes you sound like
You are a Cyberman.
I like it. It adds like effect.
he should play an android or something.
yes.
I can try disconnecting and getting back in.
Sure. Yeah, because I gotta go to Nealon anyway, so that'll be fine. Ustam has got to the science lab. Basically, he goes over to.
Check.
Yep, that's a lot better. I don't know what that was, but yeah, it's better now. And you guys have gotten to the science lab, and Ustam goes over to Lieutenant Nealon and he says, "Is it still just the lights, or has the doors been malfunctioning too?"
It's just the lights. However, I have been reading massive power drains, up to 7% just a while ago. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's and by the way, it was 0.7%, but yeah, now it's at 2%, and it's getting worse. So we need to hurry. And at that moment, as he says that, the quarantine force field that's around those little particles that are floating around, being all lighty up, it begins to flicker. It doesn't shut down, but it begins to flicker. And Ustam looks over and to Dr. Santosi, and then looks over to Lieutenant Nealon, and he says, "If I could get a quick scan of those particles, we want to make sure that it doesn't react badly to the bioneural gel packs and cause an even worse problem, like an explosion. So let's see if Neelan, if you want to give me a reason and science roll. The difficulty is going to be 3. And Santosi, if you want to assist with a reason and medicine, that'll be fine. And this will be one of you guys.
1 and an 8.
Nice. So that is 3 successes already. I gotta run back to the roll 20. That's nothing. All right. So you have definitely succeeded, and you don't think that the particles within the quarantine field would any way affect the bioneural gel packs unless they directly interacted with them, like if they were injected into the gel packs themselves. But even then, the effect would be pretty minimal. It would be the equivalent of like pop rocks in soda. It wouldn't really like cause a ship-wide explosion or anything like that. But while you guys find that out, Ustam is over messing with some isolinear chips over at a bulkhead. So I'm going to jump real quick to you guys in the core. At this point, the power drain is now at 3%. Total power loss is at 70%, or total power that you have remaining is 70%. If it goes 5 more percent, you will not be going anywhere anytime soon. You have 2 more task rolls before you figure out what's going on and stop it. So what do you want to do?
He looks at the chief engineer. You might as well, we don't know where the location it is coming from.
No.
That's the only problem.
If we could timestamp it and find a location, we could use the security cameras to see who was accessing the console. Or, assuming that they didn't just have access codes.
Okay.
I'm just a lieutenant here, so I don't have that kind of clearance.
He puts his clearance in to find out where it is.
All right. That is going to be a control or reason and command. And for you, that is going to be just a difficulty 1, but I'm increasing the complication range to 3.
Okay. Then command.
The ship can assist with, range. And I'll go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
Because the computer, the command codes aren't affected. Did not help. So what do you do? There it is. Wow. What did I say? Difficulty 1? Or difficulty 1. So you got 2 momentum. And what are you trying to find out with your command codes?
Basically,
who did it?
Pretty much who did it.
The access codes, I'm telling you everything you need to know. The access codes come from the op station on the bridge, Sub-Lieutenant Adona Kavoril.
I'm gonna lock the ops.
I just want to clarify, the power was rerouted by that console.
I'm gonna lock that. Is that same thing doing it on any other console?
Sorry, repeat that?
Is there the same what the same thing is doing done at the ops? Is it doing it anywhere else?
No, this is somebody deliberately pushing buttons on that console, causing it to happen.
Okay, I'm gonna lock the ops down.
All
Shut
right.
that.
Tell the computer to do that. You don't need to roll for it. Just tell the computer and it'll do it.
Yep, I'll tell the computer. I'll go, computer, shut down that system and then lock out that Lieutenant Junior grade from all systems.
Affirmative. And you get a call from the bridge. This is Commander Logan. Our ops console has suddenly been deactivated. Can I ask why?
Arrest the ops officer immediately.
Understood, Commander. Bridge out.
I mean,
No, go ahead. No, if you have something else to tell him, let me know.
it says put him in the brig until Chief of Security gets back.
Might want to have some armed guards there if our power isn't coming back.
Yep.
Understood. Bridge out. And so what are you two doing now? You figured it out, and all you need to do is stop the power loss before it gets 5% more.
He goes, now we just have to fix up the power system, Chief.
That I can do.
So
Unless,
At least
out of character, the only other thing that might still be worth knowing is where all this power is being siphoned off to.
yeah, that's what I was about to tell you. So it seems, I'm telling you what it seems to be based on what you're looking at the computer, not what it actually is, but it seems like the ops officer was siphoning the power through the nacelles and basically emitting it, or you know how an exhaust works, right? Basically emitting it out into space. So the plasma, you're not getting it back.
Okay. Okay, so we can't get back any of our power. We just need to stop losing more of it so we can get out of here. Recharge everything at a
The
starbase.
power drain rate has increased to 4%.
Okay.
You got this, Chief.
So, am I correct in assuming you just want to stop the power drain? Tell me how you want to do that.
I'm trying to think of a real world explanation for how I would do that. I guess maybe what I can try and do, maybe what I do is I just go in and reverse the code that now that our ops console has been locked out, I might and now that we know who did the change, I presumably could roll back to the previous version on the computer.
So
the program.
Reset to default factory settings. Is that what you're saying?
Something like that, or just delete line of code that,
right?
Or just delete the command to siphon to the. Really, it's like I guess siphoning to the nacelles. So it's like deleting a command.
Gotcha. All right.
Or if we shut off the nacelles, maybe that would be the other thing.
Being the operations manager, the operations manager has a lot of authority and power resource allocation, even equal to engineering. So it is going to be control engineering, or command if Zed wants to assist. Control engineering, difficulty 4, complication range. What could be a complication of this? I'll say complication range 3, because I can think of a couple, but I don't want to go crazy with it.
And I use maintenance specialist, and
I have to read that again. Sorry.
Is the computers actually helping us as well?
Not in this case, because the ops officer
Okay.
would have put things into place to be like, hey, do what I say.
Yeah, and so maintenance specialist.
All right, let me see what that is again. Expert in conducting normal day-to-day maintenance repairs. Whenever you are required to perform, you have the time required. Well, so you only have one task left, so that doesn't really help because it says you have the time. So basically, you cut the time in half.
Yeah.
But you're already at the last stage of it, so it wouldn't cut anything in half. This is something you would have done like at the very start of the thing. But what's the other one? Didn't you have another talent right tool for the job?
Yep.
If you can come up with a tool and you want to spend, do you have momentum to spend?
We have 3 momentum to spend.
If you want to spend 2 momentum, it will reduce the difficulty by 2. But you got to think of a tool, and you got to think of how it will give you an advantage that would reduce the difficulty. I mean, you could just make something up as far as tools go.
I mean, maybe there's a pad lying around that happens to have the older version of the code on there, so I'm having an easier time figuring out exactly where it was.
Basically.
She wasn't super good at covering her tracks, but she's not a retard. She wouldn't just leave a pad lying around that would give you that information.
Basically,
No,
Lasgo would definitely have tried to learn every aspect of the ship, and he would have had data pads to actually read if copies of the old system, just in case, like, to study.
Where would he get it? Do you mean in his quarters, or like where specifically? What I'm saying is, what I'm saying, like,
he would have had it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It would have been in his quarters, but
okay, we'll say you brought it with you then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You thought,
because
it's a computer problem. I might need this. Yeah, I got it. All right, so now the difficulty, what was 4? Now is 2. Complication range is still 3 though.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So you just have to put the information on the data pad. You just got to put it in the computer. And yeah. Let me go there.
Okay. And then as far as Car's concerned, I think that the testing of theory could apply here. As far as they've already figured out, like, the reason that we're having problems is because of sabotage. And so we just need to go into the sabotages. Like, it's kind of like it's been narrowed down over time. Like, it's in the system. So theoretically, by fixing the system, then we're going to stop losing power. Yeah. So, like, if I'm kind of going off of that. So then that would give me 1 extra die to roll without the cost of momentum.
Okay, that's fine.
So anyway, control engineering.
Yep.
No complications. Okay.
Power drain rate 5%. It is now at 67% of power.
Car just looks at that number.
All right, so you got 3, 4. What I said the difficulty was 2? Okay, so you have 2 momentum. Oh, he's already done the math. Great. So you put it in there, and the computer says restoring computer to factory settings, and you have now got the power levels leveled off at 67%, and it won't go down. And it's a good thing too. 2 more percent, and yeah, it would not have been great. So we're gonna
turns to the commander and goes, "I owe you, sir." Big time.
That's okay. I just like studying the computer, the code in the computers. Lucky I had it.
All right, we're gonna jump back to the Archon as they are successfully making their way, hopefully, through the minefield. I'm gonna say, for the sake of sanity, that you guys make it through the minefield, and you basically get to within a couple minutes of the Legion, and actually, your sensors, as you're coming out of the Basin Rift, your sensors detect a scale 9 dreadnought on approach.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
As you exit,
Wow.
you read you read the registry as the infamous dreadnought, or TID. Khan did nothing wrong, and on the bridge, or actually back in the computer core, you guys get contact from the bridge. This is Commander Dawson. We've got a problem. We've got a infamous dreadnought en route. It'll be here in about 20 minutes. We need to go, sirs.
Add a character.
Okay,
if we
I'm coming up
punch
to
it. What's the time between the shuttle and the Legion?
What should I do with this last bit of threat? Let's see. The dreadnought will be about 20 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and make it 20 minutes.
Oh well.
Okay.
Raggy.
So Osprey, now that we're out of the Basin Rift,
Glasgow is
Osprey
just
can
running up to the
communicate
bridge.
with the Legion, and he'll say to Merc. I'm assuming it's now okay to do communications because we're all out of the rift,
you've just exited. Yeah.
He'll say to Merc, "I punch it, go to the Legion as fast as you can and dock," and he'll hail the Legion and say, "Legion, converge on us." That way, if we're going, it'll reduce the time.
All right. Commander Dawson, because Zed is still running, says, "Roger that, Captain. We'll be there in about 10 minutes. Because 20 minutes, half that is 10. However, I'm going to need a control and con roll from Merc to be able to swoop into that nice shuttle bay. Difficulty 2. I have no threat, so the complication range is just 1.
Oh man, this really suck if it was where I blow it. So, do we have any momentum?
You've got 3 momentum,
Yes.
and you haven't used a
Oh.
determination yet.
Oh, well, this is. Can I buy 2 then? Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah, sure. You
Okay.
can give me threat, too.
Control con, you say?
Yep. And shuttle can assist with engines con. Whoa!
Oh!
That's like the best roll of the game, I think. 4,
Oh my God.
5, 6. Ooh, y'all have plenty.
Oh!
Y'all have plenty of momentum. We'll just say that you wiped it out with momentum. You get to the shuttle. The doors open. You land, and what is Captain Osprey's final orders to the Legion?
Okay, so we've landed, shields closed behind us, and without going up, he just immediately hails the bridge from his position and says, "Bridge, maximum warp to rally point theta," and so a pre-designated retreat point. And
Okay.
poof,
Dawson
off
says,
we
"Roger
go.
that, sir." And as the two of you are, I'm assuming all bridge officers are, but I'm assuming for sure
Yes.
the 2 command officers are running to the bridge. You guys go to warp, just as the infamous dreadnought Khan did nothing wrong gets to the Besson Rift. So, is there anything that you guys want to do? Because that is the end of today's session.
just,
actually.
carry on.
So I wanted to check if there was any life forms in the canister that we're holding.
Sure. That don't require a roll. I'm going to say that the particles were not life forms. They were just like exotic particles that react to light differently than others. And like I said, they do have a bit. They have enough power, I would say, that you could, if you knew how to make them into like some kind of power using machine, they could put off some power to maybe fly a small shuttle or escape pod. But it's still going to be a lot of experimentation and research before they can get to that level. But no, they're not life forms. They're just particles.
Awesome.
So when the captain and the security chief come on the bridge, I say, "We need to go and see your ready room, Captain."
Of course.
Including the chief of security.
All right. Well, I'm putting the people that are. Who else do you want in there, or just want them? Oh, she's gone.
Yep.
All right.
Osprey will put it off for like 5-10 minutes to make sure that we really are safe and we're really not being pursued.
Oh no, you're
Once
good.
that's done.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So he sits you down and he says, "You need to interrogate the ops officer because she was draining power out of our systems. And Omer's made us not be able to go to warp."
The timing of that certainly seems coincidental.
What? You were only near a Romulan border? What are you talking about?
It seems
Actually, you know what?
at the same time while we were off mission. We'll have to investigate this.
Yep.
I have many a theory, but they are wild conjecture at the moment. Doubtless I will be consulting with you both in the days and hours to come. Do either of you have any further information or theories that you wish to put to me at this time?
No, you can investigate from the computer core of all she's done. We had to reset it, default setting, what she's done, so we can stabilize the energy consumption.
And as you say
Out of
that,
character, what was the ops officer's name again? Just so I can note it.
it is a Romulan named Sub-Lieutenant Adona Cavoral. You should be able to view her character sheet.
Idana Cavoral.
Yeah. Also, as you guys are talking, you do get a call from the bridge. It's actually Intelligence Officer Lieutenant Vess, the Trill at security at the moment. He says, "Sir, Cavoral would like to speak to you, Captain Osprey. She would like to make a full confession and submit herself for arrest and essentially go to the normal procedures of court-martial, although she is a Romulan officer. But all of that political stuff will be handled in next session. But basically, she is admitting fault and not resisting, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm so glad that I have a focus in Federation law and politics.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
It is.
I'm good with
Infiltration, yeah. That might be useful,
Yeah.
too. All right.
Yep. All the stuff I've got: Federation law and politics, infiltration, surveillance, counter-surveillance.
For a security chief, I sure am quite the Swiss Army knife. Like, I got astronavigation, there's cybernetics, hand-to-hand combat, hand phases, composure, infiltration.
Well, maybe you'll need that one day.
Two very minor things. The first is that the captain, before going and taking the confession, which he said we'll do next session, would just say to both to his second in command, "Thank you very much for your report. Dismissed. Chief of Security, if you could remain for a moment."
Understood, Captain.
He walks out onto the bridge.
Excellent. And then, once it's just Zhukov and Osprey, Osprey will add, "I would quietly like you to consider if there are any potential connections between this Romulan officer and the person who asked the cadets to keep an eye on us. I suspect that maybe jumping into shadows there's likely no connection, but I'd like you to quietly make sure that that's the case. No need for anyone else to know at the moment that one of our officers asked for the two of us to be effectively surveilled."
Well.
Excellent.
It is a possibility. It would be a possibility to consider. So I'll have to make this investigation discreet as possible.
Indeed, the
only people who will know about this will be the two of us.
Excellent. That's exactly as it should be. We do not wish to taint or stain his reputation if he is indeed an innocent but overly cautious man.
I will provide the information as soon as I have dug up the information.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Dismissed.
Good, Captain.
Out of character, in his head, he's also thinking, the timing of our orders from Starfleet Security were also suspiciously well timed.
Yes.
But he's not telling that to Zhukov yet. Maybe later. Is that what you were saying?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
About phasing, he dips. He just dips.
Excellent.
Yes, very
one
suspicious.
very minor point. Very suspicious. Not a moment of roleplay at all, but I just so it doesn't get forgotten. When Osprey's writing up his report for the day and he's doing his entries and so forth, Cadet Merc does get mentioned in dispatches. Excellent work for a cadet. Commendation for his excellent piloting.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna do. Would you guys prefer to do reputation and milestones now or over private messages?
Private message.
Honestly, I'm perfectly fine. Whatever.
I'd be good with either.
Private message for me because I gotta go.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta go too. That's what I was asking. Okay. Private messages it is. Merc, you will definitely. Pretty much everyone will see the fruits of their incredible labor, especially not dying when I try to throw a threat at you. But thank you guys for coming.